Zach says this all the time, like when we talk about like working out and stuff.
When we talk about knocking each other out.
when we absolutely just want to go bare knuckle against each other.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Lightweights Podcast. Today's guest, we have Jared Bailey of Dropouts Podcast.
Knock on your teeth then, Jared. Come on.
They're not veneers. Of course I've seen 7.
Didn't want to get her chair, did you?
Okay, listen. I didn't know what's going on here. I've never been to a restaurant. All right.
Jared had such an interesting career prior to doing social media. He worked on some incredible films and incredible sets.
We were filming at the house, you know, like the Fast and Furious house, like Vin Diesel's house in the movie. I had a few conversations with Emma Roberts. Tyrese almost hit me with his car.
So if you're new, give this video a like. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. And without further ado, please enjoy Jared Bailey.
Oh boy, Joe, I don't like that long list of notes.
Oh, let's see. Where do we begin? Something I've been wanting to talk about, Power Slap.
Oh, yes.
What'd you think?
I loved it. Like, I'm not like the biggest like fighting fan. Like, not that I don't enjoy it. It's just like, I just don't keep up with it. And Power Slap was like the perfect mixture of like, I don't have to know who these guys are because nobody else really does. And then you just see somebody get the shit smacked out of them and you cheer for a second or you go boo and then you go back to talking to your friends. And it's the perfect social event.
It was the perfect social event. You don't have to know anything.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
The most mind-blowing part to me was that one guy who goes up and gets knocked out before he can even slap.
Oh, yeah. Like, he doesn't even get a rebuttal chance.
He doesn't. He's just done.
Is this the guy with the beard and the big ponytail or something? Yeah, he was big, too.
These guys are animals. Would you ever do that?
Hell no. Are you kidding me?
It seems like a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, like, I know I'm a bitch. I can't take it, okay? And 2, it's just like the guys on there they're massive, right? I would have to like compete in the women's division, and even them, like
Paige would knock you out.
Paige, holy shit, she's a killer. But the woman that went up against her, you know, she's fucking tough as nails too. Like Skylar was kind of filling me in on like the history of Paige, you know, like in the UFC and stuff like that.
And then she went to bare knuckle too.
She went to bare knuckle? I didn't know about that.
She did bare knuckle fighting too.
Fucking tough as nails. Oh my God. Bare knuckle is just street fighting, right? Like that's just legalized street fighting.
Essentially.
But yeah, no, Paige would just smack the shit out of me. I'd be down in a heartbeat. I would never do that.
And then seeing Dana White come out and his presence and his aura is insane.
Oh yeah. The room just like lit up. It was on fire when he came out.
Was that your first one you ever went to?
That was my first one. Yeah. I think I was in, cause Zach and Skylar had gone before and I was invited to that, but I was like in Colorado for my cousin's graduation. And listen,
sounds like a made up excuse.
Listen, love my cousin, would much rather have been at Power Slap. That was so much fun.
I know. I want to go to the next one.
Oh, dude, I want to go to everyone. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I'll fly to Vegas every weekend for that. That was incredible.
I think that's one of the coolest things about having a podcast is that people invite you to things like that.
Yes.
And you don't realize what it is until you get there.
No. Like you know, you'd seen the clips and whatnot. And so like you kind of got the idea of it. But when you're like seeing it in person and hearing it and just like being in that environment and like hearing the crowd just erupt, you know, on a good slap. Oh, there's nothing like it.
I haven't been that into something probably since playing video games.
Yeah.
Of the chaos and the terror, and then the crowd goes silent, and then someone gets slapped. You go, oh my God.
Dude, it's crazy. And just like, yeah, you can hear a pin drop like in the crowd after the ref goes, he's like on 3 or on 2 or whatever. And they're lining up their shot, you know? It's just, you could hear a pin drop and then when it happens, like the slap echoes, you know, and then dude, it's crazy. Although some of the like the bad slaps, you know, where they like hit the neck.
Oh God,
that scared me for the people. I was like, you're gonna like break their jugular like inside, you know.
What's up, real quick? Today's podcast is sponsored by AG1. I take it every single morning, so I'm really excited to bring this offer to you guys. Lately, I've been really working on improving my health, and part of that is drinking my AG1 every single morning. Before my workout, before eating, it's the first thing. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut health support, and is backed by multiple research studies. AG1 is constantly testing their product. It's backed by multiple research studies, and it's trusted by experts and medical professionals. They do the research so I don't have to. I'm always looking for more energy in my day, but who isn't? After drinking AG1, I suddenly realized I had all the energy and needed less coffee to power me through the day. 97% of people in a research study felt more energy after 30 days of drinking AG1. 91% of participants noticed they needed less coffee after 60 days of drinking AG1. If I had to recommend one product to support whole body health, it's AG1. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/lightweights. That's drinkag1.com/lightweights. Support this podcast. Go try AG1. It really helps a lot. Now back to the video. Who would win in Power Slap, you or Zach?
Oh, that's tough. Here's the thing. Zach says this all the time, like when we talk about like working out and stuff.
When we talk about knocking each other out.
when we absolutely just want to go bare knuckle against each other. You know, Zach always says that I'm stronger than him, which might be true, like lifting wise.
I think you have more power to you.
But the thing is like, I think I'm afraid to use my power. You know,
you don't want to hurt somebody.
I don't want to hurt somebody. Like I don't have like any fiber in my being, any bone in my body that like wants to inflict harm on somebody else. And so that's where I think, I'm not saying Zach wants to like beat the shit out of everybody, but like, you know, he doesn't like hold back, you know, or he wouldn't hold back in that situation. So I think admittedly, I think Zach would knock the shit out of me.
I'm going to try and set up the fight.
That honestly, instead of like influencer boxing, do like influencer power slap. Oh my God, that would go crazy.
Yeah, because you don't really need to train. I feel like more people could just do the entry level kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Would I do it? No. Would I watch it? Of course.
Oh my God, would I watch it?
What are some other cool things that you've been invited to lately?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I feel like you've been catapulted into this crazy level.
Yeah.
When that happens, so many people come out like, hey, we got to get Jared over to this event. We got to get Jared to come view this so he can talk about it on his podcast.
I really feel like, and this is so lame, I feel like we haven't been to anything recently because we've been so like focused on getting like the media company up and running, because like we've had this office space since like April or May or something like that, and we've just been like keeping our heads down and just like really focusing on that. And so Power Slap, I feel like, was the first event really in a while that we went to, which is, yeah, I'm not a great answer, but I want to go to more stuff. You know, hopefully once we get the ball rolling and everything kind of becomes self-fulfilling, you know, with the company, that we can start enjoying life again, you know. What's
the plan with the media space?
We're hosting, so it's just going to be like a space to like build podcasts and whatnot with creators that we think are really talented, or, you know, that want to do it. And so like right now, we're like a couple weeks out from launching Zach and Skylar's podcast.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have you announced that yet?
We've kind of like talked about it, you know, like we've talked about it in passing. On
wow, and
Dropouts.
You're announcing it here on Lightweights Podcast. That's so sick.
You got the exclusive.
Number one, baby.
And so that set, I would say, is like 95% built out, like all the equipment set up. And it's literally, so we have like a 3,500 or 4,000 square foot warehouse, and we're building these like completely enclosed, they look like little homes in there for each set. And so the outside of it kind of looks like a barn. That's not what we were going for, but it kind of looks like a barn.
We're doing a farm theme now, it looks like.
Basically, just a couple Georgia boys going back to their roots. But yeah, so it's like 4 walls, ceiling, like completely enclosed. And we're doing that for all of the sets in there, just to kind of make it feel like each show's own space.
In the perfect world, how many are you doing?
In the perfect world, right now we've got 3 lined up.
Including Zach and Skylar.
Including Zach and Skylar's. So we actually have 2 sets in there, and one of them is twice as long as Zach and Skylar's set, and that's going to be split in 2, just like 50-50. And then, in a perfect world, we could probably build another of like the extra long one and do 2 more in there. And then we're even thinking about getting the their offices and warehouses like on either side of us that are both open. So we're hoping to get one of those spaces too, because on top of all of that, we also have like a PBS show that's filming in our warehouse right now.
Under your guys' umbrella, or is it its own thing?
It's its own thing.
Not affiliated with you?
No, not right now. But yeah, they just we're just letting them use the space. It's like a friend that created it and is directing it, and so they needed a place to shoot. And we're like, hey, we got this warehouse that we're not like fully utilizing yet. Do you want to come in and shoot? And it's insane what they have in there. I gotta send you like a picture to put in there. But yeah, they have like it's gotta be maybe like 15-20 feet tall, like this giant wall for their set and whatnot. It's crazy. It's really exciting stuff.
An actual PBS show.
Mm-hmm.
Wild.
Yeah. Which it's funny because like in today's day and age, like a PBS show like saying that might not carry a lot of weight, but I called my grandma recently just to like catch up, and she's like, "Oh, what are you working on?"
Jared, shut the fuck up.
And yeah,
are you serious right now?
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, we got this like PBS show like shooting in our warehouse," and she's like, "No way, that's so cool."
We also had the Impractical Jokers. Who gives a shit?
Who cares? Who? I don't know why my German grandma from Kentucky is like
why does she sound like that? But I don't know.
Listen, I don't ask questions, I just go, yes, grandma.
This has always been your dream to have like a Your Mom's House podcast style type of channel.
Once like the podcast started and like really took off and kind of like we got our footing under ourselves, we realized that we could make it something bigger, and that's the name of the game. Like, I think a lot of people in like our space, like the social media space, kind of forget about the longevity side of things. And that's something that Zach especially is like very focused on. He's like, I want this to last, like I don't want to be this flash in the pan. And so, yeah, we've been working on this for ever, it feels like, and just recently in the last few months, like getting this office, it's really it's going fast and it's starting to feel real now.
Who are you can't say, I assume, who are some other people that you want to do a podcast with?
I wonder if I can say. I don't know.
Yeah, leak it.
I don't know.
I'll cut it out, and if I forget, I forget.
Well, we're in talks right now with Ryan Leader to do a show. He's a hilarious comedian. Him and his buddy Ben want to do a show, and we're super excited about that. And then I'll say that for now. Because I don't know about the other ones yet, but yeah, no, it's super exciting stuff.
How hands-on are you with that? Are you going to be producing it, editing it, all that stuff?
I'm not going to be editing those. We're going to hire outside help for that. But I'm pretty hands-on. Like, besides the actual construction of the set, like I completely set up like all the gear and equipment, and if I need to be, like, I'll be in there as like the tech supervisor. The editing just takes too much time, and so yeah, I want to be hands-on with it as much as possible, because that's what I went to school for. That's what I love doing. There's something, at least for me, that's like so fulfilling about like setting up all the equipment, running it, and just like making a great piece of content.
Are you still the main back end person of Dropouts Podcast?
Yeah.
Wow, so cool. You're a real creator, because I feel like a lot of people get to a certain point and they pass it off to somebody else.
Yeah, no, I love, like, the editing is monotonous and it's a little tedious, but when I'm able to have like fun with it, like recently I started doing, so before, when I would edit the podcast, the clip, the little teaser in the beginning, I would just pull like one clip that was kind of like eye-catching or whatever, and just throw that at the front. But recently I've been wanting to like have more fun with it, so I'll pull like 5 or 6 different funny moments, and then I'll add music, I'll add graphics. I found this pack of it's like fake handheld camera movements, to add some energy to it. And so I've been doing like a lot of that. I just like, when I can, I like to have fun with it, and yeah, it just, when I'm doing it myself, it like, and it's all in-house, it just gives us more freedom, and I'm gonna post this clip. I did a time lapse of my entire like editing process, like sitting in the chair and stuff like that.
That's cool.
It's like a 9-hour time lapse that's condensed into 30 seconds
of you putting together
of me, like, just, it's not like the most exciting clip, but you can kind of see like on the screen, of just like, you can see my fingers moving, and you can see like all the things on the timeline, the edit timeline, just moving around and all that stuff. But no, it's fun. I enjoy it. It's better than any other job I've worked.
How far out in advance is every episode recorded?
Oh, it's like week of, so
you're not sitting on anything right now.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stress.
A little bit. Yeah. We, I don't know. We like to keep it current. The only times that we really get ahead of ourselves is either when we know that we're going to be like out of town, or if we just manage to get like a couple guests in the same week. But yeah, like right now or really most of the time, we just like to keep it as current as possible, because if we do bring up like a current event or something, we don't want it to come out 3 weeks later and then you just have no idea, or like it's already been talked about to ad nauseum,
Right.
So yeah, everything's super current and up to date.
Were you at the filming of Paris Hilton?
Like when they went to their house?
Did you go?
No, I didn't go. Her security team was very like strict on who could and couldn't be there. And so yeah, there was no +1s to that, unfortunately. I would have loved to meet her, but yeah.
When you have the Impractical Jokers coming over, how prepared are you for that conversation?
Mentally or notes wise?
I think both, because there's certain people that for some reason I'll just get in my head right before. I'm like, oh my God, I'm blanking out on everything. Yeah,
no, I definitely feel that way sometimes. Like for them especially, very prepared, it's like I grew up watching Impractical Jokers. It's like my cousins grew up not in like a sheltered home, but like in like the type of home where you couldn't even say fart, you had to say toot, like that sort of thing. And Impractical Jokers was like the craziest thing they would ever let us watch on TV. And so yeah, I grew up like loving the show, being a huge fan, and so that's always kind of like wild, and definitely has some room for you to like get in your head. But
do you have any plans to talk to the other guys?
Possibly. I have no idea. I forget how we got in touch with Joe. Like Sal was like a pretty aggressive like reach out, like we were reaching out to him personally on his socials, to his team and stuff like that. Joe and Zach met playing poker, and so they had like exchanged some messages already, and that's how we got Joe on. But yeah, I mean the best way to like get out of your head in those moments is to just be prepared, and like have an endless list of notes and questions and stuff that you can bring up. At least for me, that's how I get out of my head and stop being so nervous about it,
Yeah, because there gets to a point where you've done so much research that you just have to start asking those questions.
Exactly. If you're like beyond well prepared, it becomes a little easier. And then you realize it's like all the notes and stuff kind of becomes a fallback once you're out of your head, and then you can just like have a conversation. Like once you have that safety net, it becomes so much easier to talk to people, because you're not worried about like, oh, is the conversation gonna die or whatever, and people like them, like they've been on TV for 12 years, and so it's like they know how to talk. That's honestly always the scariest part of a podcast, is like whether or not the person will give you one word answers or if they'll just run with it.
Do you have anyone coming up that you're really excited for?
We had Mason Ramsey on, which it was just wild. Like if you would have told me, I don't know, 6 years ago or whatever, 8 years ago, that the Walmart yodeling kid would be in my living room, it's just like I would have never believed you. And he's also just like an incredibly talented musician. Like there's like 5 seconds where he sang on the podcast, because we were like asking about who his musical influences are and stuff, and one of them was Elvis, and I think he started singing like an Elvis or a Dean Martin song or something like that, and I was like, oh, this kid he's got it, he's crazy talented. So what
did he say about the moment from Walmart going viral?
He is funny. He like grew up in a extremely small town in Illinois. Like they legitimately didn't even have internet in his home, like when he grew up, and so he didn't know that it was going viral until his cousin, his aunt or his cousin, got a call from the Ellen show and wanted him to come on. And so, but he was so young.
Did he even know who Ellen was?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't think he said whether or not he knew, but I think he basically said he was just like so young that he couldn't really conceptualize what was happening. And he also didn't have the context of the internet and like what that was and how big it was, so he literally went from like yodeling in a Walmart to being on live TV.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
People have reached out to me.
No.
I know. I don't want to do this, but are you seeing anybody?
We're getting into this. I am seeing somebody right now.
Oh man. Okay. Because word is that they just have a crazy profession.
They do.
Oh God.
They do.
Oh God.
Yeah, they are a sex and relationship coach.
Wow. Wow.
/ influencer.
What is that like?
It's honestly, it's extremely healthy.
Humbling.
Humbling.
Get critiqued every performance.
Very humbling. Yeah, no, it's just, it's very healthy, and there's, the line of communication is completely open. There are no roadblocks. Do not go this way, one ways. It's just, you are able to talk about anything and everything, which is fantastic. I feel like I haven't really like had that before, because in my like past relationships with everybody, they're like, everybody has different boundaries and stuff, and some things you like can and can't talk about, or maybe don't feel completely comfortable. And this, it's like everything's open, so it's good. It's like a new, like, exciting thing that I feel like I haven't really experienced before.
Zach only told me to ask if you've gotten critiqued at all in your performance in the bedroom.
I don't know if critiquing's the right word. Instructed, maybe. But for somebody that that is a sex and relationship coach, I've gotten a lot of props on my skills, which is the biggest ego boost I think I've ever gotten in my life. So yeah, no complaints there.
In your past job, you worked as the producer and you worked on McMillions, right? Not producer or
I was
assistant.
a director's assistant. Yeah.
Did you do any other documentaries like that while doing that?
No, not documentaries. I did, what I do? I mean, I did a bunch of stuff. Like I did, like a bunch of Apple commercials. So
you worked on the Apple commercials?
Yeah. So like, I remember, I think it was either the iPhone 12 or 13. Like I saw that in a commercial. Like I saw the actual product in a commercial before I think they even did like the press junket, you know, like the big thing that they always have in September.
Was it the dancing ones where people
it was a few different ones. It wasn't like,
oh, that was iPod.
That was iPod. That
Okay.
that was long ago.
That was long ago.
No, these, it was like, I don't even really, I don't know if I ever really saw the commercials. But I remember there was one where we were like way out in the country and they had like a plane flying over or something and horses. There was one, like they were in a bathroom. It was mostly like home vibes, you know, like, I remember one scene specifically, they were brushing their teeth and then I don't know why I remember that. And then there's a grocery store that so many movies, shoot at. You see it all the time. And every time I pass it, I think of that because they not only shot in the grocery store, but they also set up, like a carnival in the parking lot to get some shots there. So yeah, I worked on a bunch of Apple commercials. I did a Starbucks commercial once.
Are the budgets for those insane?
Oh, commercials are out of this world. Like that's because I remember I was talking to, oh my God, wait. Speaking of Apple commercials and budgets and whatnot, Damien Chazelle was one of the directors for the commercials. And, you know, he's done like La La Land and Whiplash and stuff like that.
Didn't he do Babylon?
I think he did Babylon too. Yeah.
Yes.
And so I got to meet and like talk with him for a second. And so that was extremely cool, you know, but like the budgets for these commercials are so out of this world that they're getting Oscar winning, you know, directors to direct commercials, which is crazy.
Is it multi-million?
Oh, it easily
Insane.
Yeah, like the amount of money that goes into marketing and stuff and advertising, especially into commercials and stuff, because like film production in general is just super expensive, you know. And like I remember one of the coolest shoots, at least like commercial wise, that I was on. I think it was a Honda commercial, but
you've done a lot.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But the thing is, it's like commercials shoot really fast, you
2
know,
days.
like 2-3 days, you know, depending on what they're doing. And a lot of times, you know, you might just be like a day player or something, you know, you're just there for the day filling in for somebody. But the Honda commercial I worked on was fun because that was the first time I ever saw like an FPV drone being used, and so that was really cool, like seeing the guy just like with the goggles and the controller, and you're like standing next to him and he's completely still. I don't even know if he's breathing. And then you can see on the monitor what he's looking at, you know, and he's just doing these crazy flips and like going up buildings and stuff. It was insane. But yeah, no, I've done a lot. I think a career highlight for me was when I worked on Fast and Furious 9.
Shut up.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
What'd you do?
Just PA, you know.
With Vin? And The Rock?
Vin was there. I was only on it for like a few days. He was there. He had like a whole like trail, like big long trailer that was completely surrounded by like this tall shrubbery, you know, like
Vin?
Yeah, Vin Diesel. They called it Vinnyland, you know, and because it was just like him and his family in there, and like
of course, his family.
Yeah, nobody but his assistant was like allowed in there. And Tyrese almost hit me with his car.
That's cool.
Yeah, he has like an all white, or it's like white and gold accent Rolls Royce with like, I don't want to say his license plate, but yeah, I was just standing and he pulled up and maybe like stopped 6 inches to a foot in front of me.
As a trick, or did he not see?
No, I just don't think he cared. Honestly, you know, not saying like anything about his character, but you know, who knows? Maybe he didn't see me. It was night, but yeah, that was kind of funny because then he got out and I was just like, honestly, I wouldn't have even been mad. You know,
would have been dope, dude.
Yeah, but
what scenes did you film?
Well, I was with like the second unit, right? So they're filming like a lot of like the insert shots and whatnot. My arm is actually in the movie
because they needed an arm.
They needed an arm. There's a scene where, so in that one, it kind of like flashes back to like young Vin Diesel and young John Cena. And they just needed an insert shot of like the young Vin Diesel shifting gears. And he wasn't like scheduled to get there and get in hair and makeup for like another hour or something. They just wanted this one shot. And so the first AD comes over to me, looks at my arm. And this is before I had all the tattoos. He looks at my arm and he's like, this could do. And takes me over to the director. He's like, what do you think about this? He's like, yeah, that works. And so then makeup just like kind of put this like self tan on that would wash away in like a day or something. Put the self tan on, and then costume or like wardrobe just gave me this like black button up shirt to wear real quick. And then it was just like, it was 5 minutes of like the director being like, okay, shift to third, and I go, you know, and stuff like that. And it's maybe in the movie for like 6 frames, you know, but I'm like, that's my arm.
Your body double for Vin Diesel.
Young Vin Diesel. I forget his actors.
Before he got ripped.
Yeah, exactly. Before he got ripped.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so no, that was a lot of fun. And then
do you get paid extra for that?
No.
Oh, really?
I mean, you probably should, but I didn't. And honestly, I love those movies. Like, those movies are my guilty pleasure.
Did you go see it in theaters?
So of course actually. Speaking of like cool things that we get invited to, is like I filmed, or like I worked on that maybe like 6, like, I mean, I was still working in the industry when like before we started the podcast, you know. So I filmed that maybe in like October or something of 2019. And then by the time the movie came out, we actually got invited to the premiere because we had started the podcast and it was going well and
so
stuff.
Not even because you were part of it.
Not even because I was part of it. It was because of the podcast.
Wow.
And so not only did I like work on that movie before I ever even started social media, then I got invited to the premiere at the Chinese theater, which was so cool.
Did they shut down the whole street?
Yeah. It was like a whole thing. It was incredible.
I went to Jurassic World's premiere, 2 different ones. The budget that they have for that is insane.
That's what I'm saying.
Shutting down the entire street, all these food vendors, all these celebrities. Yeah. I was walking out with Colin Farrell.
Oh my God.
It was the coolest thing.
I love Colin Farrell. I think his ability to like transform into so many different characters, like every time I watch the Batman or I see like a trailer for the Penguin series coming up, I just can't believe that's him.
He's the Penguin?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is that on HBO?
Yeah.
That's gonna be good.
Oh, I know. I'm so excited for it. Have you watched Presumed Innocent?
Phenomenal.
Dude, I love that show.
Jake Gyllenhaal's performance is unreal.
He's so good.
All right, this is going to be spoilers because are you all caught up?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, who do you think it is?
Dude, okay, I've been trying to figure this out
And how many episodes are left? Because that could change everything.
I think what just came out? Six just
came out. We're on episode 6 of Presumed Innocent on Apple TV with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I think there has to be like 8 or 9, right?
I feel like we're coming to a close. Yeah, there's 8 episodes, so there's 2 more left.
But see, they throw a twist and turn at in every episode. And so in the beginning, I was like, I don't know. In the beginning, I was totally not convinced that it was him, because he shows up to the crime scene and he's like completely taken by surprise. And I was really following the rabbit hole of like, it was the other killer, the other DNA that was there for the bunny case or whatever. And then after that episode, whole thing shaped out with him, when they brought him in and interrogated the other guy, I was like, okay, I really don't think it's him. But then they have the whole thing with like Jake Gyllenhaal's son on the bike, like passing by. And I was like, oh, this kid might have been like upset that his dad was having an affair or whatever.
So that swayed you to think it's the son?
Well, it kind of like opened the doorway for me for that, right? But then in the most recent episode, and I kind of noticed this like beforehand when Carolyn's son, like text Jake to meet him and whatever, that kid, especially on the stand, has so much anger inside of him. And I think it could be him, okay, because he has so much anger, and he also might be not might be, I mean, he is upset that like his mother doesn't really want him, or like doesn't fully acknowledge his presence.
But what do you think about the prosecuting attorney?
Tommy?
Yeah, Tommy Malto.
God, he pisses me off.
I think it's him.
Oh, fuck. I didn't even think about that.
Because he doesn't invest. He's so set on Jake Gyllenhaal being the guy. He doesn't really investigate other people. And Carolyn had a little problem with him, but we don't really know the problem with him and why she was afraid to go to work. And they try and say that it's Jake Gyllenhaal, but could it be Tommy Malto?
Oh, see, Tommy makes so much sense, especially because that's the whole reason, or like one of the whole reasons that they think it's Jake is because, she was tied up like one of their old cases.
Which whatever, Tommy also had access to.
Tommy had access to.
To frame him.
Yeah. And they've kind of like hinted at it that Tommy like had feelings for Carolyn.
Yes. Right? And she wanted nothing to do with him.
She wanted nothing to, like, she didn't even so much. Like, she didn't even want to work with him.
Yes.
On cases. Oh, I didn't think about Tommy. That's genius.
This is such my problem with these shows is that they're not all out, so we have to wait a week.
I know. God, it's the worst. But this show is right up my alley because, like, I love, like, legal shows, lawyer shows, whatever. Did you watch Defending Jacob? Also an Apple TV show.
No, but someone else told me to watch it.
Yeah, it's with Chris Evans.
Is it good?
I really liked it.
Okay.
And the ending is very open-ended. That's all I'll say. But I binged that, I think, in an entire day. Like I was hungover. I had nothing to do that day. It was like a Sunday or something. I was like, okay, let me just buckle up and
I'm gonna watch that because I watched Clipped. Are you watching that on Hulu?
No. What's Clipped?
It's about the Clippers owner and controversy that he got into.
Oh,
you should watch it.
Okay.
It's based off real life. It's really good. Shot really well.
Nice.
Not a big fan of The Bear.
Really? Like the newest season or just the show in general?
The new season, because the first 2 seasons were incredible.
Yeah, I love the first 2 seasons. I haven't watched the new season yet. It's
kind of just, it's whatever to me. I don't know why I'm not hooked, and I really don't think I'm the only one like that.
Okay, yeah.
So,
even Zach, he's like, I liked it, but it wasn't as good as the second season.
No, and I'm not even trying to compare it to that. It's just they're trying something so different artistically, and it's just not. I don't know. I don't think it hits.
Which I respect that attempt, to like try something different.
I'll come back for season 4.
Yeah, exactly. That's all that matters. Like, will you come back? It's like you can try something. Might not hit the same, but at least you tried.
Are you the kind of person that will just start a show on season 3?
Hell no. What?
Yeah, what? That guy's so weird.
Is that what you do?
Yeah.
You just start a show in the middle, like you have no context as to
No problem picking up later on.
What?
Because shows get bigger budgets down the way, and then they get better writers. It grows. Season 1's always the test out, and then season 2 is okay, we're doing it, and then season 3 is where it really goes. I'll start season 3. I don't care.
I get that. I just feel like I'd be so lost. Like, I love the lore. I love the backstory. You know, like I started for the first time. I started watching Better Call Saul. You know,
I couldn't get hooked on it.
And well, just like you were saying,
start on season 3.
Yeah, if you start later, it definitely like picks up and gets a little better. But like in the beginning, I was just like, why was this so popular? Like, you know, it's so slow.
It is
in the beginning, and then once he like finally like really starts getting in with the cartel, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm here for.
And that's season 3.
It's like 3 or 4 once things really start to like pick up, because like in the first few seasons, like most of Saul Goodman, Jimmy McGill, whatever you want to call him, like most of his like character arc is like between him, like his relationship between him and his brother, which that like it was good, it was fantastic, like it was development, you know, but it just took so long, you know, and I was like, because everybody was saying it was better than Breaking Bad, and I was like,
do you agree with it at this point?
No, I think it's good. I think like I'm hooked and I'm gonna finish it. But I feel like Breaking Bad had me hooked from the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
It was such a great character arc.
Exactly. You know, and so I just honestly now after I'm done with Better Call Saul, then I want to go back and rewatch Breaking Bad.
I did rewatch Breaking Bad. I rewatched Dexter as well. That was phenomenal.
I love Dexter. Oh
Yeah.
my God, that was my shit growing up.
Did you like the new one, the spinoff?
I never saw it. I didn't hear good things about it, and so I was just like, let me just not ruin it.
I think it's worth it.
You think it's worth it?
It's definitely cool. Will the new season be as good? I don't know.
They're coming out with another season?
I think they got picked up for 3 seasons.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah.
With this new storyline.
Well, I guess now I have to watch it.
I think it's definitely worth the time.
I thought it was just going to be like a standalone season because everybody was like clamoring to have it back. Yeah. And then I heard that it didn't do so well. And so I was like, okay, well, if it's just going to be by itself and it wasn't that great, I'm not going to like put my time into it, you know, but now that I know it's got 3 seasons or, you know, I guess I got to watch it because I loved it.
Did you see Strangers or Quiet Place?
No, I didn't see either of those. I really want to see A Quiet Place because I love, you know, like a prequel, like a good origin story, especially for that one, for that whole storyline.
I want to vent so bad, but I don't want to ruin it for you.
The one I did watch like a spoiler-free review of it, and they said it was really good, except the one thing that they were missing, that particular reviewer wanted to see was like everybody learning and adapting to like being quiet. And they basically said that like I think it was Lupita's character gets like knocked out or something, and then they wake up and everybody already knows to be quiet, you know. And he was like, I was kind of wishing that they would like go into that more, you know, because I think that's so interesting. Like, how do you learn that it's like these aliens are seeing with sound, you know?
I didn't really get anything I wanted out of it.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, it happens.
Yeah. Do you see the thirst trap videos of you online?
The thirst trap videos of me?
There's some sexy edits.
How?
Dude,
I don't do anything sexy. I talk on a podcast.
People are in love.
Are you just down a rabbit hole of my thirst trap videos?
It's my entire feed.
And you do know your feed is based on what you consume, right?
I'm liking everything.
I'm liking, I'm reposting.
I'm sharing with Caitlin. I'm doing everything. Someone wanted to know what your main motive was for moving to LA.
That honestly, it wasn't anything crazy. Like, I didn't grow up being like, oh, I'm gonna move to LA, I'm gonna make movies, or I'm gonna make music or whatever. I was honestly, when I was in college, I was planning on going to Atlanta to work on movies there because it was like closer to home, a little bit cheaper, and I just knew a bunch of stuff filmed there.
Did you test it at all?
No, because what happened was my last semester in college, my division head came up to me and he was like, hey, there's an alumni that's doing an HBO docuseries and he wants to bring on an assistant from like his old program. Is that something you're interested in? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, that's cool, an HBO docuseries. And so I went through this whole process to apply and interview, and honestly probably one of the most fun interviews I've ever, or like applications I've ever done, because on top of like writing a paper, you know, on like why I want this, what my skills are, that sort of thing, we also had to make like a 90-second video, kind of like showing ourselves and explaining and stuff. And I know a lot of the kids just did like, they just plopped the camera down and talked straight to it, and I went like a lot more cinematic with it. And so I was just like walking around the college campus with a camera and a tripod and like setting it up and filming myself, you know, third person, just kind of like not going about my day. Like, I had scripted it out to highlight certain aspects, you know, but it was fun. And like one of the scenes was to show that like I did music as well. So I went to my school's recording studio, and we were very lucky to have like this giant, you know, space. And you know, I played, so I set up the camera on a tripod and I played 3 different instruments, and then went in and I like masked myself so it looked like I had clones like all playing the instruments that I play. And when I talked to, or when I actually like got to the phone interviews, they said that knowledge of like how to film and stuff like that was the thing that really set me apart. So then I ended up getting it, and I had a friend who I went to college with who wanted to move to LA, and so I told him about this, and he was like, oh, cool, like let's go together. And so then we packed up a van and drove across the country, and that was that. You know,
it's wild how that one little decision changed your life.
Yeah. It was just that, like that one decision, that one conversation, like with my division head, because like had he never brought that up to me, I would probably be in Georgia right now, you know, like working on movies. Because yeah, LA was far. I'd never been. And
you drove out from Atlanta?
Yeah. No. I drove out from Ohio, Cincinnati, and we just we took turns, you know, driving in shifts, and I think we made it from Cincinnati to like the Grand Canyon before we like stopped. Like, we were too exhausted to drive.
Is that like 16 hours?
It was so long, because like we were doing like maybe 4-hour shifts or something, you know, or maybe even longer, like 6 hours. And so we do like 4 to 6 on, 4 to 6 off, and by the time we got to the Grand Canyon, we could only keep our eyes open for like an hour at a time, and so it was like legitimately getting dangerous. And so we pulled off for the night. And then it was funny, in the morning, we went out and we were like, well, we're here, might as well go see the Grand Canyon. I didn't know it snowed in the Grand Canyon. And so it was like a blizzard, and we get to the edge of the Grand Canyon. You can only see 10 feet out. The rest of it's like clouds and snow and stuff like that. And I was like, this is so disappointing.
That's crazy.
But it was beautiful.
Did you do it in 2 days?
Yeah, we did it. We could have done it in 2 days. We ended up doing it in 3 because so then we went from the Grand Canyon to Albuquerque, speaking of Breaking Bad.
Did you go to the house?
we did go to the house.
I did that too.
Yes, you have to. You can't go through Albuquerque or go to Albuquerque in any sort of way and not see the Breaking Bad house.
I drove from New Jersey to LA.
Damn.
I think it took 6 days.
That's a long drive. That's a haul, man.
We went from New Jersey down to Nashville, picked up one of my friends, and then drove through, and we stopped in New Mexico to go see the house.
Yes, that's how you have to do it. And so we stopped there because we realized, so we had an Airbnb booked for like 4 days when we were supposed to get to LA, and we realized we were a day ahead of schedule. And so rather than like getting to LA early and like booking another place and then moving or whatever, we just stopped in Albuquerque and then drove the rest of the way there. Yeah. Good times.
That's crazy. You were doing the live shows for a while, right? Mm-hmm. Are you still going to be doing them going forward?
I think so. Zach and I both love them, you know, and it's so much fun to go out on the road, and, you know, the numbers of like views and likes and whatever that we see on our screens every day. It's so much fun and so rewarding to like see the people behind those numbers. And there's just like, there's no better feeling than like being on stage, you know, which is very rare, not rare, or like different for me to say, because like I had stage fright growing up all my life, and I still do. Like I still have to get a little buzz to like get on stage, but like once you're up there, it's just like, it's such a rush.
Is it a Q&A or conversations you already planned out?
It's like, not like full scripted conversations. Like we know like of topics that like we want to talk about live, or so we have topics that we want to talk about. We love being interactive with the audience, and so we have games, you know, like we play Family Feud, I think at every single one of them, and then like we give away prizes to the people that come up and stuff like that. We play games with the audience. We play
give out like Xboxes and computers,
yeah,
or iPads.
Like it's, yeah, we kind of go all out, you know, and it's just like for the few people that
show up.
You
guys get big crowds.
Yeah, I mean,
sick.
The show we did in Boston, that was like 600 people, which is insane, you know. And the Gramercy in New York was smaller, but there was like a mezzanine, you know, and so it felt larger than life when we were in there, because I think there were 400 people there, and so it's so cool. But yeah, so we do the talking section, we do the games with the audience, truth or drink. That's always a fun one. So we write questions for the other person so they don't know what's coming up. And then at the end, we do a Q&A so that we're actually able to talk to people.
Are you guys doing more dates coming up?
We don't have anything like in the books right now, but so far, like we've done, we've really only done like LA in the East Coast, you know, and so like we've done LA twice, we've done New York twice, and then Boston and New Haven were the first like 2 new cities that we had ever done. And so, you know, we want to hit more of like middle America, or like go to the South or whatever, you know, and like meet people where they're at. 'Cause for some of those shows, like people came a long way, you know? And so, yeah, we want to eventually be able to like meet people where they're at. And, but yeah, no, we love them. They're so much fun.
What's the plan for Dropouts going forward?
Just keep existing, keep talking, you know? We really want to like, we want to find a healthy balance between, guests and just like doing it with the crew. And then like as far as guests, because like we love talking to people, and it's such like we're in such a cool and unique position to just talk to people that we really look up to or admire, and so we want to keep getting just like better and better guests, you know.
Who are people that you reached out to that didn't happen?
Oh, that didn't happen?
What caliber of people are you going for? I reached out to Sofia Vergara the other day.
Did you?
No response, but still reached out.
Hey, but you reached out.
That's half of it.
That's half it. You never know who like will respond. Man, that's tough. Who have we reached out to that either said no or didn't say anything? I know we've wanted like Sabrina Carpenter on for a while, and then I just saw like the Hot Ones episode with her, and she's hilarious.
So it's possible.
It's definitely possible, and she's on tour. I think she's got an album coming out in August, so
it's more than possible now.
It's more than possible. She's got to do a press run, you
right.
know, and that's really, like, if you sum it down into like one sentence, like two sentences, right? Like, we want to just keep getting better, like within ourselves, like within like the core group that the people really like, but we also want to become like, podcasts are kind of like the new talk shows, like the new late night shows that everybody does when they have something coming out or they have a fun project or whatever. We want Dropouts to like be one of those like have to do like on a press tour podcast, and so I think that's kind of like our goal, and would love just for the caliber of guests to keep getting bigger and better. We want to get more like actors, more household names, more musicians, stuff like that, like definitely comedians as well, but yeah, just keep doing it.
What guest episodes stick out to you that it was just a great conversation?
Neil deGrasse Tyson. I am still so bummed we didn't get more time with him, because I love astronomy and stuff like that, and I would love to have talked to him for 3 hours, but even in like the limited time that we had, that was so much fun. Who else? Who else? I'm trying to think. Yeah, you put me on the spot. I mean, recently, like Joe Gatto, that was Joe and Sal, really both were both like not surprisingly, but it was a fantastic conversation. Like, I had so much fun doing those.
What's the conversation like when the cameras stop? Do you ask deeper questions that you can't really ask on? Yeah,
like more personal stuff, like more kind of like get to know you things. And a lot of times, especially for like comedians or musicians or stuff, they're in town and they have like a show or something. And so they'll like invite us to that. And then like for Joe, it was like the day after we filmed or something, or maybe a few days after something. He was doing like a show and at I forget the name, the Improv, and he invites us to that, and then like takes us out to dinner the same night and everything. So it's really more just like get to know you.
You guys out to dinner?
Yeah, well, I think he tried to take us out to dinner, and then Zach snuck off and paid for the meal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just, we just like to get to know people, because it's like you sit and talk with them for an hour, and it might be like a little bit superficial, and they might be kind of reserved because everything's going on camera and it's being recorded. But afterwards, it's just like you just want to talk to them like person to person, because that's something I realized I'm glad I realized this early on, because going back to when I was working in film and TV, I worked on the 1984 season of American Horror Story.
How do you have these things under your belt? Like,
yeah, I did a lot in my limited run.
I was talking to Zane this morning about how you did McMillions, and he's like, "What? How come you didn't tell me that?"
I don't know. I don't really talk about it that much, because like for me, I forget how much I did in such a short amount of time. But yeah, I worked on that season, and
what'd you do for that?
I was the talent PA. Well, I was kind of like an overall PA, but I worked a lot with talent, and that's kind of where my role kind of developed, because I was just like good with people naturally, and so I did a lot of like talent wrangling on that and just making sure they were okay and stuff.
Was that with Kim Kardashian?
No. That wasn't
Gaga?
No, it was before that. It was who was on it?
Sarah.
I know Will Schuester, the actor who plays Will Schuester in Glee, was on it.
Okay.
But the moment I realized, I had like a few conversations with Emma Roberts on that.
Again, just dropping this stuff. I think it's no big deal.
And our first conversation was like about bagels or something. We were like at the
love
crafty.
bagels.
I love bagels. We were just like at the crafty bar, and that was the moment I realized that like famous people or celebrities in general or whatever, they're
just like us.
Yeah, they're just people with cool jobs, and so that is something I learned early on, that I think has like helped in the podcast world, especially when you're talking to somebody and the cameras are off. It's just like, yeah, these are just people with cool jobs.
When she walked off to go film her scene, what'd you think?
Oh, she was so nice. I absolutely like loved the time that I had with her.
Did you almost levitate?
A little bit. I was just like, but the thing was, it was like, I knew who she was, but I wasn't the craziest like American Horror Story fan at the time. I don't really like scary stuff, and I know it's not like the scariest show, but
I keep inviting you to scary movies.
I know.
I mean, no wonder why you're not coming.
But yeah, it's so like I didn't have that like that like, oh my God, like freak out, but I was just like, oh, this is really cool, this is awesome. Yeah.
What other shows or movies have you done? The fact that you're in Fast 9 is insane.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
That's such a cool flex.
Even being at like, there's one day we were filming at like the house, like the Fast and Furious house, like Vin Diesel's house in the movie, and just being there, like on the set of Fast and Furious was surreal. But one of the coolest things, I don't even think it made it into the movie. They had like a prototype GTR, like Nissan GTR there. And I remember talking to somebody in like, maybe it was props or something. I don't know. But it was like a $3 million prototype. And I don't even think it made it into the movie.
But your arm did.
But my arm did. Let's see, what else have I worked on? The last thing I ever worked on was it was a L'Oreal commercial.
I thought you were gonna blow my mind.
No, yeah, it wasn't anything crazy, but that was just kind of fun because I think L'Oreal, was that part of Procter and Gamble?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that was kind of like a cool full circle moment for me, because my mom worked for P&G for 35 years, and so I'm like, oh, now I'm working on a commercial for the company that you worked for all my life, so
yeah. Those calls would come in just for commercials and movies and TV shows, just randomly.
Yeah, you just build like a good network of other freelancers and stuff. Oh, one of the coolest things, I worked on a Wayfair commercial, but it was with Kelly Clarkson, and I was kind of like the talent PA on that too. So I spent a lot of time just making sure she was taken care of. And there was one day where it was lunchtime and she was eating lunch in her trailer, and I just had a chair outside of her trailer.
And you stared at her.
And I was eating. All of a sudden the door opens up and she's like, do you want to come inside and eat? Because it was kind of hot out. I was just like barely in the shade of the trailer. She's like, do you want to come inside and eat? And I was like, I don't want to like inconvenience. She's like, no, it's fine. Just come on in. And so then we talked. So like I went in, I ate lunch with her.
Just the two of you.
I think her husband at the time was also there, and then there were like her assistants and stuff. But yeah, so we were just talking, and she's like, oh, what do you do, blah blah blah, and asking about my life, which was very surprising, not saying that I expected anything else from her being like a good person, but it's just like when you're that caliber of celebrity, it was just kind of, you're just kind of taken back, and so that was probably one of my like best filming experiences.
That's so cool.
Was being on set with her.
Wild. I'm pumped for the new Dropouts channel to have all these new podcasts. Are you going to keep everything on the same one?
Yeah. No. We're gonna build separate channels.
Each one will have its own.
Yeah, each one will have its own.
How come?
I think it's just cleaner that way. Or if we can figure out a way to do it like TMG or Your Mom's House, where they have
because they're all under one channel.
Yeah, they're all under one channel. And they have it somehow separated into all the different shows under that channel. So we got to figure that out. You can create
a podcast on the channel.
We can?
Yeah, it's when you hit the little plus sign on the top right, it says create podcast, and then you just put that into the playlist when you're uploading it. And then that's how you can divvy it up.
Well, there you go. Now we can put it all on one channel.
Let's do it.
That's all I needed right
all
there.
All it is. It's literally just one button. It's crazy.
Yeah, you'll get a consulting fee. Don't worry.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Guys, go subscribe to Dropouts. It's going to be linked down below. And Jared, thanks for coming.
Also, I have a new song that came out. It's called iPad. It's technically a cover song of the Chainsmokers, but it's part of my remixing songs that don't need to be remixed series. So go check that out as well.
That's cool. Are you writing for anybody?
No, I write like
just for you,
just for myself, and then I work with like a couple other artists on different things, but not like a solidified writer yet.
Do you have any scrap songs that you're thinking about deleting in the trash that you can give me for an intro?
Oh, I could probably make you one.
No, I don't want you to make something. If you have anything that you're just sitting on that you're like,
yeah, probably.
Okay, I've never had an intro for the show.
We got to change that.
Yeah, that might be cool. Jared, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Lightweights. Oh, that was great. Thank you.
Perfect.